Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eye Opener Society. You have your hosts,
Me, Hannah.
and me, Gary. We are your hosts of the Eye Opener Society, and we want to welcome you back. And I just wanted to say, one, I'm so extremely excited that everybody's tuning in and listening. It's the best thing you can do for us, especially when it comes to supporting us. Obviously, you could send us $1 million tomorrow. We're not going to say no to it. However, just listening is just as good for us. So I definitely want to say a big thank you while we have the audience. You that just hit the play button. Thank you so very much. Again, we're doing a quick little series of our shorter talks, just basically without having a basic topic. We're just sitting here as Hannah and Gary, just talking to you in more of a conversational style. And the whole reason for that, again, is because we're trying to cram a lot of recordings in all at once for the month of August, because Hannah's going to be going on vacation soon. And we just wanted to get the August show out there to you, or at least the August shows. So we thank you again for listening, and we thank you again for tuning in. And with this, our whole theme of positivity for the month, or basically for the rest of the show, we're always trying to promote some positivity, consciousness, awareness, being ourselves, and why we should be happy to be ourselves. And I think that's what I wanted to bring up to you, Hannah. I just wanted people to understand that as a human, we don't need to seek acceptance from others all the time. I think we need to seek acceptance from within, and then start to enjoy our own being, our own well-being, and our own, and to become a better human, we need to understand ourselves more rather than worrying about what everybody else thinks about you. What do you think about that?
For me, I think this is a hard one. So for me, I think, unfortunately, I'm always going to be that type of person that somewhat seeks acceptance from other people. I just think it's like a trauma response from everything that I've been through in my life. However, I think I've come a long way to the point where, yes, I still look for that acceptance, but then in the back, in some scenarios, I'm just like, it is what it is. I am who I am. Fuck you. It just honestly just depends, It just depends on the person, the situation, I guess how I'm feeling that day. I'm a very act with emotions type of person.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is where we need to focus and control what we feel, and we need to focus on ourselves, because too many times we're too worried about the opinions of others. And let me put it to you this way, we never really accept negative comments, especially on our social media pages and stuff like that. And the only reason is not because I can't take it. I got a thick enough skin. But the problem is, I don't want to spread that negativity, because that negativity really is like a cancer, and it will spread around, and other people will pick up on that. I always said there's certain things, art and music, things like that, it's subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are going to like it, other people are not going to like it. So why would you want to sit there, other than to hear your own self speaking, and say how much you hate something?
Oh, yeah.
And this is where it comes down to, where if we focus on ourselves and ourselves only, and not worry about what everybody else thinks or what everybody thinks about us or what we want to say, we need to keep things kind of neutral.
Yeah.
I don't like, this musical artist. It's not my taste of music. I don't think the recording was right. I don't like their sound. Things like that, I think, is much more mature than saying, oh, this is the worst music in the world. I can't stand it and nobody else should like it.
Yeah.
This is where we need to focus on ourselves and say, well, listen, me as a human, I accept myself. I'm proud of myself. And I don't need to tell the whole world about all of my opinions.
Yeah.
this is what we need to start doing, because the negativity, again, is spreading like a cancer. And how do we stop that other than by trying to reflect on ourselves?
Yeah. Music is a really big thing for me. Whether it's necessarily, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a song that has meaning. You know what I mean? I mean, every song has meaning, but I could be listening to like a rap song, or I could be listening to like a heavy metal song. I could be listening to something that literally destroys my heart or, makes me happy. But in the end, music like touches my soul no other way that anything else in my like life or existence ever has. So I take music very personally, and it's actually a really big pet peeve of mine when it comes to people. If I have people who just like sit there and just like you said, like bash on this, bash on that, I'm just like, can you just let me vibe to my song? Because this is so important to my soul right now. The song doesn't even have to have meaning, but the way that, like, let's say like a rap song, like has a beat, and the beat makes my body feel like it's just something that is so deep and personal to me. That like what you said, it's just like, if you don't have it, just keep keep to yourself, don't spread your negativity or, your opinion when it's not necessarily needed. I can see someone jamming out to a song that I can absolutely despise, and I will just either, like walk away if I can, put my headphones on or something and just not say anything, because I know in that moment that person needed that song. They needed that feeling. If people feel the way I do when I listen to music, then who am I to like shut down and spread like a negative vibe to them because I don't like what they're listening to?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes beyond music,
It does. And music, like I said, it's just one example because it's so subjective. But I could look at a piece of artwork and I could feel one way. Another person next to me could be staring at that same exact piece of artwork and feel something completely different. There's differences on how music and art actually take hold of another person and enable them to see something different. So yeah, us sitting there and expressing, like, if my opinion was asked, I can tell you, well, this piece of artwork makes me feel this way. This musical artist I either like or don't like, and here are the reasons, or at least what I'm feeling. But to force my opinion onto somebody else, or to say, you have to feel this way, or you're stupid for listening to this, this cheapens humanity so much. And this is where we need to focus. We need to wake up and become adult. Like, we're all acting like children, and it gets to the point where you don't want to talk to anybody anymore. You don't want to ask anybody's opinion, because the opinion turns to hatred right away. And being a conscious human being, being someone who's trying to learn more about the higher self, I like to use art and music and everything else as a way to tune in with people. And if a person says, this is my favorite song, it could tell a lot about that person.
Yeah.
And the same thing with art and how they feel about a certain piece of artwork or whatever, or sounds, or just anything. It's very deep into the psyche when it comes to music, believe it or not.
It is.
And just a little side note, we're going to have a discussion about this hopefully soon, within the next month. We're going to have a guest on our show, Monica Susanna, and she's with TIK Radio. And we are going to sit and actually talk about mental health and music, because I think the two go hand in hand. And
they do.
I'm looking forward to that.
I was going to say, I don't want to touch on it too much here, like now, because I want to save it for the podcast. But I will add, and I will probably end up mentioning it again. It's just like, I always have said that you can tell a lot about what someone is currently going through by the song that they have on repeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you absolutely can. You're so right. And yeah, we will definitely bring that up. It does. It tunes in, because an artist can write a song, and that song could have a meaning to that artist, but somebody else can listen to it and it'll have a completely different meaning, because that person is taking those words, those lyrics, and relating it to something in their life and not the artist's life. So it becomes so subjective, and that's what makes it art. And humans are art. Every one of us are different.
Yeah.
Every single one of us.
The way they dress, the way you do your makeup, the way you do your nails, the way you do your hair. Like, everyone is art. Like, life is art. And it's just like such a beautiful thing that I think people don't sit back and like reflect on more in life.
And I think we do to an unhealthy portion because, like you say, the way you wear your hair, the way you wear your makeup, but how about just your body that you were given at birth?
Yeah.
Why can't we take hold of that, embrace it, and say, this is what was given to me, and it is perfect?
Yeah.
Rather than taking what everybody else is thinking and being, told, well, you have to be fatter, you have to be skinnier, you have to be... Take what you have and enjoy it and embrace it and understand that that is you as a whole.
Yeah.
If there's things health-wise, you can make changes later based on that, but it shouldn't be because of shame. You should not be shameful.
What's in or what's the right image. There is no right image. Ever since I can remember, have always been that kid that would make the people that look physically different or something like that feel noticed, because it's not right. It's not right to judge somebody by if, their shoe size or their waist size or, if they're bigger or lighter. I don't like using the word fat. I think it's really it's just horrible. I feel like everyone is beautiful in their own way. And like you said, if they have something health going on, who are you to sit there and call them fat or obese or anything like that? Because you don't know what's going on in their body. They could have something like a condition or something like that. I know I've touched on this so many times, but it's just like, don't say anything if you don't have anything nice to say. You have no idea what someone's going through. Everyone is beautiful in their own way. And I don't think I've ever sat there and just spit out just horrible slander about somebody. Because like I said, it just goes back to, that's your body and that's your image that you were born with. The universe, God, whoever, whatever gave you, and embrace that. Enjoy yourself. Stop trying to get with the trends and worry about what other people are doing or other people's opinions. Just be who you are.
Right. And embrace who you are. That's the main thing. I don't like seeing people transforming themselves into something that they're not because, for whatever the reason. Take what you have and enjoy what you have. That is where you're empowered because you are who you are. You're different from everybody else. You are a fingerprint. You're unique. And that's what we need to understand. And I really think too, even in the medical field now, I've had the same thing, body shaming from doctors now.
Oh my God.
It's disgusting. With diabetes, I walked into, a clinic once and I was in full winter gear and, they weighed me like that. So, of course, it put on an extra 12 pounds on, but literally I weigh like 160 pounds soaking wet. As soon as I walk in, the very first words out of the doctor's mouth is, first of all, you're obese. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, man.
Obese?
Yeah, and you're ugly, doc, thanks. But, this is where the whole hatred thing comes.
Yeah.
And now you're yelling back and forth. It's like, who is a doctor to say you're obese right off the bat, Listen, you have health problems. This is where I'm concerned about. Your weight should be down here or something like that. We can help you get to it. It's more professional, but they're really being taught nowadays to go according to these charts. If you are 5'7", you must weigh this amount.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
It doesn't.
You were born a certain way and that's what you have. We could maybe help things, but you can't sit there and shame and make you feel horrible. I mean, I didn't feel horrible because it was, to call me obese.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. That's like calling you obese. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. But we have to learn that we got to accept who we are and we can't have other people telling us the way we should be.
Yeah. I think it's important to just believe in yourself and, establish your values. And it's really hard. And I'm still honestly learning how to do this, but stop worrying about how other people feel about you and how people see you. It's about how you see yourself. It's about how you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because, some people, like I said, I'm guilty of it. You want validation from people. You want love from people. But the love can be very gaslighting. And it can have hidden agendas. So it's just really important to stay true to yourself and true to your image, and don't let anything, alter that.
And how are you going to love anybody if you're not able to love yourself?
Exactly.
You have to start by loving yourself. And that's the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not easy. And, there are people I know that look in the mirror and hate what they see. And I know that's a mental problem. And, I think we're here to say, listen, you're not seen that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that's saying the ugly things, it's a reflection of themselves. They're so self-conscious about themselves that they're projecting onto others. And is that right? No, obviously it's not right. This is how we function as humans. Always wrong. We always do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So if you are that person that's looking in the mirror, hear this voice in the back of your head. You are beautiful. Listen to that voice and hear it. Just remember from this moment on, remember the words, you are beautiful. Next time you go and look at yourself in the mirror, that's what I want you to hear.
Yeah. You're beautiful. You matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone is happy that you're here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You may not hear that all the time, when you're outside and, your perception of things, you're probably always hearing the ugly things, even if they're not spoken, because I know there are people that, will sit there and think, oh, I think this person is thinking this. It's very difficult when you have these problems. It really is. But that's why I just want you to remember, you are beautiful.
Yeah.
Just remember that you are beautiful. And if that's the only thing that you put in your head is you are beautiful, that's all you are going to hear.
When you look in the mirror.
Yeah. Not only just it, but anywhere, any place, anytime you're not feeling right. If the only thought in your head is you are beautiful, that will eventually start to take over and you might start to feel better about yourself. We're hoping it does.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody needs to start breaking out of this horrible, miserable, low level, low energy and start looking into the higher stuff, the higher energies, the 5D world where we're all beautiful and nobody says anything bad about each other.
I think it's really important, it's slightly off topic, but somewhat in topic here, is that, instead of keeping necessarily like a happy thought to yourself about someone, like today, for example, I had to go get my license picture taken, and there was a worker there, and he was knitting or crocheting, a scarf or whatever, a blanket, I think it was a blanket, yeah. And I could have just sat there and not said anything, but I was fascinated. I was fascinated by the art that he was making. And I just was like, wow. And he's like, what? And I was like, I'm just watching you. Like, that's amazing. Like, you're doing such a wonderful job. And when I tell you, when I left, I turned back and I saw the smile because I feel like he got the energy that I was proud of him. It's just something that I took to heart because I know what it's like to be in that seat doing something that you don't think that anyone is noticing you doing. And then you get that small, just simple compliment. And it literally just reforms your mental for the rest of the day. And it's just like you're on this some type of high. Not that it matters what other people say, but it's just like if you have a thought that that is going to, maybe turn around someone's day, say it.
Mm-hmm. We get so scared to say
I'm just
positive stuff.
Yeah. Oh my God, not me.
Yeah.
I wish, I always say it all the time. I'm like, I wish there were more people who are awkward like me.
Yeah.
Because it's not meant to be awkward, but I just make it awkward. That's my personality. But I'm always going to be that person that, I guess it's because of everything that I went through. Like, how many times that I wish someone would have just, told me when I felt like I needed it, like that I was doing a good job, or like they're proud of me, or, hey, I like your shirt today. hey, your hair looks good. Did you do? It's just like the small things, that you're being noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not about necessarily the validation from other people, but it's just our world is filled with ugly right now. And even something small as, you like someone's shirt can take it a long way.
Yeah. The point I wanted to make was the fact that hatred is so easy to spread.
Yeah.
It's the in thing. You feel validated because you spoke your mind and, you said something ugly and you're really good and you're going to go around aggravated for the rest of the day now. It's easy to do that. It takes a bigger person to give the compliment, to say something nice, or to suppress those negative comments and say something nice. We can be gods, we can be goddesses based upon the way we act in society. And more people need to understand that. You guys out there listening to Hannah and I, think about this. Spread this. Spread love. Stop spreading hate. I don't care how small of a compliment it is. Try it. Every time a negative thought comes across your head,
replace it with a positive.
Replace it with a positive, no matter how hard it is. And it'll make you a much bigger person than that ugly side that would have came out before.
Mm-hmm.
We all need to do that. We all need to question the higher self. We need to question. And I wanted to bring this up in a topic, but we could wrap it up very quickly with this. We question, and I'm the first to say question everything, There's nothing wrong with questioning, but however, we need to understand the questions that we're asking. We sit sometimes and ask the most simplest question, how do I meditate? The thing is, there's no answers to these simple questions. There's guidance, there's instructions on how to do it and all that. When we sit down and we actually do what it is we're setting out to do, the questions need to become higher, and we don't need to reach out to other people with, how do I do this? What's next? Start questioning ourselves.
Yes.
Question, why am I doing this? How can I do this better? How am I going to learn to do this better?
What works for me?
What works for me? I like that, Hannah. Thank you. These are the questions that are going to help us become better, to help our mental strength, to open up the doors to that 5D where we all want to be, rather than in this low-level, low-energy 3D world where we just ask the simple questions and look for a simple answer to get us into a very simple next step. If you want to make that big leap, then you need to ask the questions and ask yourself the questions. Make them higher questions. I always said I like to be a guide. I don't like to answer questions. I just want to guide you. You ask the question to yourself. I could give you some pointers, some direction, guide you. That's what it should be like. I think we all need to be mentors to each other to help each other think on a higher level rather than answering the smaller questions that really never help you learn. And that's what I wanted to talk about. And I think I got that all in. And it's very simple. Rather than having an entire show on it, question yourself, ask the questions, make them powerful questions. What is going to matter to you? Because you, the individual, you are that unique fingerprint. And if you ask a question, the answer may only apply to somebody else and not to you, or it may apply to a whole group of people. Make it specific to yourself. And that's why asking yourself these questions and answering them yourself makes you a much higher person.
Yeah. And to add to that, I think it's important for people to realize is that you are your unique being. There is no one that's going to ever be like you. So people should stop trying to be like others. It's nice to have an admirer, or someone that you admire, an idol, there's the word. But I think it's important to remember is that you are your own unique being, and there is nothing more beautiful than being yourself. There's nothing wrong with, oh, I really like how this person did their hair. I might try that out. There's nothing wrong with that. That's creativity. But stay true to yourself. Don't go liking a band just because the person you idolize likes a band, or, they dress like this and they hate this person so you're going to. Don't be like that. Be yourself. Because you're so unique, and it's so important to just be your own person.
I like that. And I want to end on that note because you said exactly what the show is about. Be yourself, be unique, be happy about yourself, and always remember, I am beautiful. Remember that all the time in the back of your head and keep it there. And Hannah and I, we will, constantly reinforce that for you. We appreciate everybody tuning in again.
Yeah.
We kind of like this conversational style, but we will be getting back September into our regular format, so don't worry about it. And we're going to have guests and all. But we just wanted to set this whole month of August for more positivity and spread a lot of that. And that's going to continue on for as long as this show is on the air.
Yeah.
So everybody take care. We will